join us for the F&B Talks by the Restaurant Times. My name is Prachi Ahuja and I would be your host for today. For those who are with us for the first time, F&B Talks is a knowledge series that brings together people who seek deeper understanding of the world of the restaurants. Our aim is to build a free knowledge base on various aspects of running a restaurant business with top restaurateurs of the world. It gives me an immense pleasure to share that today we have with us Flaviano Sforza, who's a very famous chef and the co-founder of a very famous home restaurant in Italy, Pasta, Amore and Guacamole, which is as unique and creative as its name. Coming on to our talented guest Flaviano, who got his start in kitchen as a child. He began his studies in psychology and sociology in Italy and UK. He worked as a sociologist, but his approach to food was continuous and built on bringing his passion to cuisine. He opened his first restaurant of Italian cuisine in Mexico in 2009, in which he started his career as a chef and owner of a restaurant. After 3 years, he moved back to Italy, where he opened another restaurant called Mexico Lindo, a project of fusion of Mexican and Italian cuisine, as he has been influenced with the Mexican flavor so much. In 2014, he was awarded as Eccellenza Italiana, and Mexico Lindo ranked first position in TripAdvisor list as the best restaurant out of 1,050 restaurants. Today, he has changed the name from Mexico Lindo to Pasta, Amore and Guacamole, stressing a little bit more on Mediterranean influences. He has also been working as a personal chef across the world for VIP families. Passion, love, creativity, and risk are the main ingredients of his job. Welcome to F&B Talks, Flaviano. It's a pleasure having an inspiring leader like you here in our community.
Thank you very much, Prachi. Thank you to invite me. This is very interesting. And it's a pleasure for me to share my experiences, my life, piece of my life with you and of my story. And this is great. And I mean, I'm a gypsy chef. Maybe I didn't tell you, but I'm a traveling chef, most people say traveling chef in a formal way, but I would say gypsy chef because my house is the world. So my home is the world. Maybe one time, I hope so, in India too, to come over in India because it's a new market for me, and it would be for me a pleasure to share my recipes, my experiences, my food, of course, with you. And this is my pleasure to be with you tonight.
It would be really great hosting you here in India.
Yes, perfect. Yes. I mean, it's a new market for me.
Perfect. Then let's start. So first of all, congrats on the rebranding of Mexico Lindo to Pasta, Amore and Guacamole. So could you just please tell us, more about the new aspects that you brought up with the new brand? What all are the new aspects that you think Pasta, Amore, Guacamole has been, having with it?
Okay, there's a famous older movie, Italian movie called Pane, Amore e Fantasia. Actually, my inspiration from this new brand comes exactly from this title of the old Italian movie in the black and white, so you can imagine it's all the movie. And I just translated into Pasta, Amore, Guacamole. So it's a new rebranding, but in terms of food. So there was also pane, but I put pasta, amore, because without amore, we can't do anything in life. So in my case, cooking, and guacamole. Guacamole is the other the trade union between pasta and guacamole. So there are two different cuisine, which fusion becomes a sort of Mediterranean cuisine. Not Mediterranean, Mediterranean. So it's a fusion between Mexican and Italian cuisine. And that's what I did. So this fusion between plates and food using especially ingredients from Italy, because I'm based now in Italy, in Sicily to be precise. And I have this small restaurant, which is not a proper restaurant, but it's home restaurant. It's sort of a closed restaurants. So in Argentina, they call puertas cerradas, restaurantes cerrados, which means they are closed because they are only for invitation, for reservation, and not for everybody. So you need to reserve, I need to know you, and you can come in and eat what I have tonight. So I'm doing exactly a menu, which is a unique menu, in my case, Mexican with some fusion because I'm using ingredients from Italy, doing Mexican food, but using Italian ingredients, especially because here I can't have everything from Mexico, but I have dried chilies from Mexico. But at the same time, I have, for instance, Italian cheese, which are a fusion, and I can combine the two ingredients into the plate. So that's why the name pasta amore guacamole, even if it's a little bit long, but it's like it makes sound. It's like a sound, a swan, like a melody. Pasta amore guacamole. And of course, when there is amore in the between, so love, everything is nice, wonderful.
Great. I mean, I really loved your idea, pasta amore guacamole. It's so cool. So,
Yeah.
and even I saw the menu of pasta amore and guacamole, it was all about creating fusions of, different cuisine, which was very unique and creative at the same time. So from where did you get the idea of, including fusions in your menu? And according to you, what are the most effective ways to create an attractive and an effective menu for a restaurant?
Okay. I create, as I told you before, of course, it's a fusion. I use a fusion between ingredients, and the people seems like to appreciate this because even if we do, for instance, Chinese or Japanese or even Mexican food abroad, sometimes it's difficult that people can accept everything about the exotic food. Because for you, Italian, for instance, Italian cuisine for you is exotic. And for us, the Indian or Mexican food are exotics.
Correct.
So, and sometimes we can't accept everything of Mexican or Indian, Japanese cuisine. And we need to make it more, we need to find ingredients and we need to find some plates, some food that can combine the palate of the local people. So in this case, I work to find which are the right plates, the right food for Italian, Mexican food for Italians, because all the Italians, they can't accept all the Mexican food. So because there are some, like in India, they are very spicy. They are food like very spicy food, and sometimes it's difficult to accept. So that's why I found it the proper plates and combined with like a more smooth, more slightly mild, not strong, not too much hot. And but of course, I try to combine the two foods and try to make, of course, good for the local palates.
And what is your take on creating a menu that is very much attractive towards, the guests or whoever comes to your house for a closed restaurant for an invitation? How do you curate the menu?
Okay, the menu is unique, just the only menu. There is no a la carte.
Okay.
So it's the only menu I do is in general is with meat. But sometimes if, for instance, a guest or a client call me, I'm vegetarian. Okay, I will do the vegetarian menu. Or I can't eat gluten, and so I do without gluten. So I try to be pleased to my guest that everybody's happy, even if they have the choice of the menu. But they have to be. I mean, they're going to be happy because they are tasting something handcraft, something not commercial, something handmade, which is the very most important thing. That your food is made here. With so I do my food without trying to buy industrial commercial ingredients, and everything is natural.
Wow, it's like so unique here. The idea is so unique. So as an expert in the market, what all factors or what all ways would you tell me to create an attractive menu for anyone? Like as a restaurateur, what do you think are the most effective or most, creative ways to create an attractive menu?
To make attractive menu was try. That's why the reason to combine the local ingredients, because local people, they can recognize something which is not too far. I mean, I use, of course, a lot of chili. But I can't use too much coriander. I use coriander, but not too much as Mexican use or even Indian people use, because it's for us it's a very strong taste or flavor. So that's why I have to combine to try to make the guest happy and make of course, the menu attractive. There are some ingredients which are universal, like potatoes. Potatoes is the first. Okay, you. There are many people that can eat pasta or can eat meat, but everybody eats potatoes. So it's one of the basis of here the food. But of course, I don't do everything of potatoes. I also have a meat, but I try to do, of course, like beef. I do and trying to make something which is in your palate results like tasty, not too hot, and then warm and crunchy, soft. So there are some requirements of the cuisine which are very important in order that you have been successful with your menu. I try to avoid too much creamy food. Creamy food can be greasy, can be something can't. Nobody likes. There are many people that don't like creamy, but I try to reduce the cream. I try to reduce something which is or too hard or too soft, and try to make a balance between the ingredients in order to make attractive the menu. And of course, exotic, something that they can eat here, and especially here, there are some Mexican restaurants, but they're more Tex-Mex food, which has nothing to do with real Mexican food.
Get your point. Totally, I agree with it. So, what were the greatest challenges that were faced by you, while rebranding, and also when you shifted the entire setup from Mexico to Italy? Like, was it an easy move, or it was difficult? What are the challenges? So, what is your take on the same?
Yeah, it's every time you move or you travel, in order to which is not for vacation, and trying to move your life, your experience, all yourself with you to another country, which is a different culture. Even if you go back to your culture, so in my case, to Italy, is not easy. It's not easy because you need to adapt and restart, put resetting your way of thinking, way of cooking, way of life. So it's always a challenge, as you rightly say. It's a challenge which is not only for chefs; it's for everybody. In the case of chefs, in my case, it's of course it's trying to the palate of the Mexican palate is different from the Italian palate. So people have different approach to the food, and try, of course, even if I do the two cuisine, I have to rebuild, to invent again when I moved the new menus, new life, of course, in order to adapting to the new culture. So even in my case, when I went back to Italy, for me it was a little bit difficult because I also needed to recall my customers, my friends that were they used to come with me, and especially when I was in Mexico, they were calling me, they were sending me messages, a lot of messages. When are you coming back? Okay, so and then of course this is the thing that you need to keep your clients, your customers, or your friends in like warm, in order then once you come back, you can, hey guys, I'm coming back from Mexico. I'm here again. I'm in the market. So when you can visit, you can come to eat with me. So, and that's why you need to treat your client like friends. This is the only another tip which is important, because usually restaurants treat the customer like customers. So the difference, my difference, is to treat the customer like friends. And this is the tip. This is the secret in order to adapt, to be, to rise again, to stay in at pace, with the new culture.
Perfect. Lovely. I totally agree that
Mhm.
customers should be actually treated like a friend, so that they come back to us again. Perfect. So how do you ensure that the guest experience is always top notch, and the quality of the service is like consistent in your daily operations? Like, what are the factors that you think that you should keep in mind while serving a guest and not making the guest feel uncomfortable? Or maybe, like, what is your take on the guest experiences?
Yeah, a restaurant, as you say, I mean, a restaurant is not only about food. A restaurant should be something also about uh, feeling sentiments, feelings,
Mm-hmm.
and experience, and not only just you sit and eat. Uh, this is quite cold. Uh, that's why I treat, as I told you, I treat my clients, my customers like friends. Uh, and customers, they really love when you go out from the kitchen, when the chef come out from the kitchen and have a talk with them and see, look, I cooked this plate for you. And they're like amazed because it's not, they know the origin of their food, of their plates. You cook this. You're Italian. Oh, great. You've been in Mexico, in case I'm in Italy. And so they begin to talk, and that's why the place becomes a temple of relationships,
Mm-hmm.
of social relations, of not only food, but it's all inclusive. The all inclusive is your human social experience with food. That's
Correct.
why that's a secret. Also, another tip that the restaurant, and the most restaurant, they should keep in mind, because usually when you go to a restaurant, you see it, there's a waiter. The waiter doesn't know, sometimes doesn't even know what is serving to the client.
Mm-hmm.
And the clients want to know what I'm eating. And if you come out for the client, directly the chef, they will be so feeling so emotional, so feeling like important,
Yeah.
and feeling like, say, the top notch of the food is when the chef come out and talk with you and uh, treat you like not only friends, like a part of the family. So
Correct.
my clients, most of my customers are part of my family. They are all on my mobile phone, the contacts. They are
Mm-hmm.
not signed like a client. And so when I call, I make let's get a good news, good hear from you. And so it's something different, which is a cold restaurant. That's why the secret that I use, I like the concept of home restaurant.
Correct. Totally. This is a new concept, and I think that so many people must be following this in Italy there.
Mhm. Yeah,
And
definitely.
yeah. So, as you know, that 2020, 2021, and I just hope things get better this year, but has been years of, disruption for the F&B category totally. So, how did your pasta, amore, and guacamole deal with the situation all about?
Was I mean, this pandemic had affected, of course, unfortunately, to all the businesses, not
Correct.
only restaurants, but even my business, of course. And last year I was closed for a long time, for a long period. And in this moment, I was doing a takeaway, like a delivery. So I was doing delivery, but of course, as I'm not very fan of delivery, because even with the most famous delivery food, which is pizza, especially here in Italy, but across the world, it's everybody
Yeah.
pizza. I don't like when pizza smells of paper. It's the paper of the
Correct.
cutter. This is I'm very sensitive about my nose, olfactive, so and so that I can't appreciate pizza eaten in the place. I can appreciate it,
Mhm.
but I can't sometimes I can appreciate it because when you receive it directly to your place, to your home. But okay, it's directly in your living room. You're eating in your living room. You are in pajama. But at the same time, you're eating something which is not directly from the oven or from the kitchen. because before of this there was a transport and the paper and the smell, and of course when you put everything in the paper and the cartoon, I mean in the box, all the smells, all the flavors and the food, they're getting lost. So for me it was important, but I did for necessity, of course, because the pandemic affected us, and so there was no other way to do. So I need to adapt, and I couldn't receive people. And meanwhile, I also sometimes work as a chef. I mean, daily chef, private chef, for families. Recently, I was in Germany for cooking, especially Italian food, because in the world they prefer more. It's more about Italian food, but sometimes with Mexican, of course, food, which is very appreciated. But most of people, they call me for Italian Mediterranean food. So, and that was I trying to survive the situation, but of course not regularly, not continuously, because there were some period of the pandemic was very high, the contagious, like now in Italy. In Italy, I think it's the more restricted with the country with more restriction the world now, while the other European countries, they are getting more free and trying to getting free. Italy now is getting hard. So it's very sad now. It's a very tough moment in Italy now, and also for the business like mine.
Correct. I totally agree. Here also in India, we are facing the same almost, and we just hope that everything gets back to the track. We all, get back to the basic life. Exactly. So my last question to you is, what are things you think that are very different in, closed restaurant as compared to a restaurant? So what are the basic differences that you found between a restaurant and a closed restaurant?
Okay, you mean in between proper normal restaurant and the home restaurant?
And which one do you prefer? Correct.
Okay, differences. I think the direction today, exactly after this pandemia, I think we learned something more about this, because I hope now it's getting finished this, but it doesn't mean that next year or in 2 years, on some few years, there will another pandemic, and we don't know. So it's so in order to be prepared in this, we should invest more in something which is not so formal, not so very conservative. Restaurants now today are just an old-fashioned business. I mean, I love to go out to restaurants, but why don't, as I told you before, why don't we offer to the customer something more, something like a sensation, an emotion, an experience to feeling like in Italy, or feeling like in Mexico, in a foreign country. I mean, if you receive here people from local people, I would like them to feel they're feeling the warmth of the Mexican atmosphere, the ambient of the Mexican food and the Mexican society and culture. So this is quite the difference is exactly that now I think today the restaurant can be obsolete. The concept of the former restaurant is obsolete. So you need to offer something different, which is more than food. And the home restaurant, the home restaurant is the difference. The big difference is the home restaurant maybe can give you just one kind of menu, but can give you the warmth, the feeling like home, feeling like you're going out visiting a friend. That's the difference. That's what I think people today like more.
Correct. Totally. I am inspired by home restaurants, because in India, I don't think we have any like something like that. But we totally have, but I've never been there.
Okay. That's a good idea.
I've never been there.
Maybe we can do a home restaurant in India.
Thanks for the startup idea. Maybe I'll consider that.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, Flaviano, thank you so much for your time. It was totally great talking with you and, sharing your thoughts, knowing your ideas. It was amazing. Thank you so much. And I hope you keep inspiring like you've always done to us.
Okay, thank you very much for being part of your interview, this conversation, which is very nice, and sharing you ideas, my experience, which is very nice, which is, of course, it's increasing our culture and the fusion. Because we have fusion food, but we also I love the fusion cultures with all the world.
Thank you so much, Flaviano. You were
Okay, thank
great.
you.